We need to start writing all these recipes down. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with episode 3 of Delicious in Dungeon. And yeah, this is turning out to be pretty fun. It's a fun, feel-good, kind of like low-key show. Nothing big, nothing bombastic, nothing over the top. It's simple. Just a bunch of explorers going through this multi-level dungeon to try and rescue the sister of the warrior. It's like that's really all you need to know. And along the way, they survive by cooking up and feeding on the different monsters they come across, and along with various plants and stuff like that too. And Marcel is very nervous and anxious about eating the monsters, but in the end, she does end up going along with it most of the time, and even tries to help out as much as she can. We got to see in episode 2 how Chilchuck, I think his name is, something like that, how he contributes to the team. Though we already kind of knew, we actually get to see it in action. We get to see how he, identifies and utilizes traps, how he guides the others through that stuff. And we also got to see how the dwarf, dude, I can't think of his name right now. But we get to see how he is not great at taking orders. He's not great at listening and, following what he's supposed to do. Because he's used to doing things a certain way. He's used to kind of having this, I'd say almost devil-may-care attitude towards exploring the dungeon. And so actually following this halfling's orders and, listening to his instructions and everything is something that he's not used to doing. But it seems like it's probably a good idea for him to do so, based on some of these traps we've seen. And the episode deals a lot with characters feeling, needed and respected. So I wonder what we're going to get going forward. We're touching on different kinds of just understandable themes alongside of the entire cooking stuff. But I'm glad that we're still sticking with that as well. I mean, granted, we've only seen 2 episodes at this point, but still. It's like that's kind of what the show seems to be, and I really don't want it to try to evolve into something else. Like, a lot of shows do that. They start with like this core concept, but evolve into something else later on. But usually it's it's expressed like right at the beginning. It's like, oh, this show is about, let's go with Hell of a Boss as example. Hell of a Boss, it's about this group called Imp who act as assassins sent from hell on, contract to kill people up in the living world. But it's very clear right from the beginning, not counting the pilot as much, because the pilot, let's be honest, is crap compared to everything else. But it's clear from the beginning, even with episode 1, that the series is meant to be more about the characters and their connections with each other, how their relationships grow and evolve, and that was always more of the focus, more of the idea of the series, rather than just the base concept. The base concept isn't thrown away like a lot of people weirdly act like it was. It has never been thrown away. But it's not the focus, because it was only a launching point, and that was clear from the beginning. But then you have something like this where it's clear that the delicious in dungeon, I mean, it's in the name, and it's very clear that this is meant to be how the series is. So I don't really want it to evolve past this because there's no like setup for anything else right now. This feels like it's supposed to be like a comfy, just nice series about this kind of stuff. And yeah, there's going to be action every now and again. There's going to be some intense stuff, probably even some emotional shit. But it has this focus that I feel like it needs to stick with. And I feel like if it tries to branch off into something else and tries to be something other than that, it's going to lose the entire point. It's going to lose its focus. And again, unlike Hell of a Boss, it hasn't set up for evolving into something else. So I really hope it does stick with this the entire way through. Also, for anyone who's just joining us for this episode, just as a note, I would suggest you go back and watch the previous ones, the previous reactions. But we are doing the dub. We're doing the dub because Emily Rudd is the voice of Marcille. She was Nami in the One Piece live action. And she was honestly one of the main reasons I decided to check this series out in the first place. So that is why we are choosing to do the dub, because of her. I wanted to hear her in her first anime voicing performance. And I think she's been doing a fantastic job. I think the dub to this is rather great. I've heard a little bit of the sub, and it doesn't hit the same way. And the dwarf guy, whose name I can't remember right now, he's also voiced by Sungwon Cho, aka Pro CD, who is also just really good. I don't know who the other voices are off the top of my head. It's just those are the two I know like a lot because I'm a big One Piece fan and a big fan of the live action, and I've met Sungwon Cho at Youmacon. Plus I've like seen his videos quite a lot and heard some other voice performances of his. So yeah, it's like I'm acquainted with him quite a bit. Mostly through YouTube, but you know. Either way, yeah, we have a lot of other stuff on this channel too besides just this. We do 2 series reactions every day, Monday through Friday. On Mondays, we also do YouTube reactions, which are donation rewards from viewers like you. On Wednesday, we have gaming content. Currently, we are live streaming Momodora Moonlit Farewell, but we're pretty close to the end of that. And once we finish up, maybe even a little sooner, we might start on some PS5 content, which I might spread out more during the week. We'll see. We'll see. I'm thinking about that still. I'm just kind of waiting to figure out how I would do that. But we also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday. Those will be posted up, and those are, again, almost always donation rewards, but sometimes I'll sneak something of my own in there as well. Plus, we have some various other content posted every now and again, such as AMVs, countdown lists, and so on and so forth. The point is, we have a lot of great content on the channel. It consistently changes up so that there's always something for everyone. And I hope that you are excited as I am for more of these awesome shows and reactions to come. So, that being said, we're just going to get into this now and see what this one has in store for us. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I don't know if this is like trying to imply that all living armor in this world is these mollusks, or if it's just these specific ones, and there is living armor that can be done with magic still. It's kind of an unclear specification here. But either way, it's kind of implied that at least the ones that he and Phelan came across in the past was also... Was it implied that these were the same ones? I think it is. But yeah, it's pretty interesting nonetheless. Either way, it's also pretty interesting that we got such a gruesome death in this. Not Laios's death, which was also interesting in and of itself because it continues to bring forth this idea that people can just die and come back. I still wonder exactly how that works. I don't think it's been fully explained yet. So, like, do they just like respawn at like a tavern or something? Or do they have to be brought back with magic? Because they also brought forth the idea before about, like, could they bring Phelan back after being, like, digested and pooped out by the dragon? So it's an interesting thought to have as to how exactly this works. I wonder if we'll get specifications. But either way, kind of continuing off of this, we get another episode that does focus on a character here. The first episode kind of just introduced everyone while also, I guess, kind of giving a focus to Senshi being the newest member of their group. But the second one, then we had half focus on Marcel and half focus on, I'm just going to say Chuck. Because I can never remember the full name. But we had the half focuses on them, and this one was focused entirely on Laios, and even showed a bit of his past with Phelan. So that's really interesting to me. Each episode seems to focus on a different character. At least for now, because obviously we're going to run out of characters to focus with. Though the opening and whatnot does have other characters that are shown, that are going to show up every so often and whatnot, so there's that too. But yeah, we're also going to get, obviously, the different cooking stuff each episode, and this time it was an interesting way to get to that. I like that this series does showcase some gruesome stuff, though. Like I said, that death there where the guy got, like, stabbed through the throat, it's like, Jesus fuck. It's like, that actually caught me very off guard with how gruesome it was. It's like, getting stabbed through the throat is a very gruesome death. It's like, even just the way the sword looked like it was pulling at the flesh, it's just like, ugh. And on top of that, it's like getting stabbed through the midsection is like, yeah, that's gonna hurt. That's really bad. Especially since you might not actually die from that, depending on various factors like what is actually hit with that. But it really sucks. And I mean, obviously, if your wounds aren't treated and everything within time, you will die. I mean, if from nothing else than bleeding out. But yeah, it's pretty interesting how gruesome this can get for being such a lighthearted show. Otherwise, very comedy focused, very comfy, and then you have shit like that. But I also like the kind of thinking it makes you do. Because during this episode, you're trying to figure everything out along with him. You're trying to understand what's going on with this living armor. You're questioning, okay, so if this other armor is behind the door, what is controlling these things? And you're trying to figure it out, you're trying to get it, and like, when the thing starts attacking without the head and everything, you're questioning it just like he is, and it's like it's really interesting, really fun. I like shows that can make you think alongside the characters as to what's going on. And I also like that this is the first time I think we've seen where the recipe doesn't entirely work out. Because in both of the first two episodes, it's like everything worked out really well. It was stuff that Senshi already knew how to cook. But here, it's something brand new. It's something that he's never cooked before. And although there is a similarity to, standard mollusks and whatnot, it's something that's still brand new for him. So he tries out a bunch of different methods. And some of them work. The standard way of cooking them, like in the half shell and everything, actually works pretty well. And it seems like the stir fry and the soup are pretty fine too. But then you have the steaming method, which doesn't work at all. It seems like the funk of the helmet kind of mixed in with the flavor, and it kind of gave it just a really nasty taste. But I like that. I like that it's not something that he was just perfect at making. Even the stuff that was good wasn't exceptional, wasn't necessarily on Senshi's best level, because again, he didn't know, this was new to him. So he even admitted, it's oh, this could use some condiments or maybe some spices or something. This could use stuff to make it better. He's thinking about it because it's oh, if we ever come across this again, we can improve upon this. And I like that. I like that it's not all going to be perfect, that there are going to be some misses or some things that can be improved on. Because that feels very real. As someone who does occasionally experiment with cooking, because I like to experiment with new foods and all kinds of really interesting, unique stuff as well, sometimes things don't work out. For example, I'll give you an example. I'm a very adventurous eater. I love to try new things, and I have this Asian market near my house. Well, near my house, quote unquote. It's 20 to 30 minutes away, depending on traffic. But it's not that far. And I've gone there plenty and gotten some things that I've never tried before. I've gotten shark from there, for example. But one of the things I got from there was pork brain. And I tried cooking it in a couple different ways. That I saw there were different ways online on how to cook it and everything. And so I tried a couple different ways in cooking it, and some worked better than others. It just depends. It's a very, it also depends on what seasonings you use and whatnot, what you have it with, stuff like that. So it's it's something that you gotta try to experiment with when you try out new foods. You gotta give it a chance, check some things out online and whatnot, and see what you can do. Not everything's going to be perfect. Not everything's going to work exceptionally well. But if you give everything a chance, at least, you'll find some stuff you end up really enjoying. You'll be, pleasantly surprised, I guess you could say. But yeah. So I'm really enjoying this. This was another good episode, and Laios got a new sword, which has I guess a mollusk in it, or something like that. It looked different, because I don't think the mollusks had the eye stalks like that. So I'm curious about what that's about, but he's hiding it from the others. I wonder how quickly it's going to take for that to come into play. It doesn't seem to be aggressive towards them right now. It's just kind of hanging around. So I'm very curious as to where that's going to go. But we have a lot of other shows on the channel to check out in the meantime. Every Monday through Friday, we do 2 series reactions each day. On Mondays, I also do YouTube reactions. And on Wednesdays, I'm currently doing gaming content with live streams for Momodora Moonlit Farewell. Though that is finishing soon, and we are going to be going into doing some PS5 stuff, though I might be moving the days around with that. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Obviously, there will be a video that will explain all that, if that does end up changing. We also do movies every Saturday and Sunday. Movie reactions are usually taken from donation rewards from viewers like you. But sometimes I put something in there myself, just based on, okay, this is something I just want to watch and I don't want to wait for, you know. We also have various other things appear on the channel every now and again, such as AMVs, countdown lists, and so on and so forth. So there's always a lot to look forward to, and with the schedule shifting and changing pretty consistently, there's always something on the channel for everyone. For example, starting this Friday, we are getting into the Fallout series. So look forward to that coming, because that's been performing really freaking well, and I'm very excited for it. But in the meantime, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of Delicious in Dungeon? And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.